Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Dugout Football channel. Welcome to another match preview. This time it is Newcastle United against Liverpool. A match that will have an added edge, especially with what happened earlier this season. Newcastle United losing to only Liverpool this season. Actually, the only team who have beaten Newcastle this season. I'm delighted to say that I'm being joined by the lovely Kendall Rowan. It has been a while. How are you doing?
Yeah, it's been ages. We were just saying it. We think it was just like takeover time. So yeah, over a year ago now. So very long, but I'm doing really, really well. Thank you.
It's good to have you on. It's good to have you on. And I'd imagine that obviously we were speaking off air. You haven't taken your big smile off your face, considering what's happened this season.
Yeah, no, honestly, everyone's really annoyed at me now. Like every other football fan is like super annoyed at me because I just don't have a negative to what's going on at the club at the moment. It's more than we could have ever asked for. It's been, this time last year, just a few weeks ago, this time last year, we were bottom of the table. So, to be fourth now and comfortably top four, to be fair, we've been top four for the majority of the season now. Final of a cup, my first ever final. Just buzzing really at the moment. To be fair, my expectations were relatively low anyway, so everything's just exceeding, and I'll be happy no matter what happens this season. I think I'll just be, it's been a nice season for Newcastle fans.
That was actually going to be one of my first questions. What was your realistic expectations this season?
So when the season started, obviously we finished 11th last year, and I said, look, if we finish top 10, that's more than I could ever ask for because it's progression, and that was all I expected at the time. I had predicted us to finish 9th because we were like third in the form table last season, and I thought we could definitely replicate that again. But yeah, I had us finishing 9th, and I honestly, hand on my heart, this is genuinely not like a lie. If we finish 9th, I'll be 100% still be happy. Because to me that's progression. Obviously, I don't think we're going to finish 9th now. I do still think we'll get some form of European football, whether that be Conference League, whether that be Europa League. But for us to be where we were last season, even to get European football at all this season, would be just, absolutely immense. So obviously my expectations have changed throughout the season because of where we are and how we've played and things like that. So I would be expecting us now to finish at least top 8. But yeah, you never know what's going to happen with their football. But as I say, I'd still be happy if we finish 9th. I'll be more than happy.
Yeah, and obviously a trophy that'd be very, very lovely, wouldn't it?
It'll be absolutely amazing. The first trophy I've ever seen us. Well, obviously, if you don't count into Toto Cup or like the championship, obviously, a bit slim pickings from Newcastle. But yeah, first major domestic trophy for us since I think the 60s. So even before my dad was born. So yeah, I think it'll be incredible to win the final next week. Incredible.
Well, obviously, good luck from everyone in Liverpool. I think everyone wants Newcastle to definitely win. Hello, Rennie. I am good. Thank you very much for tuning in. I know you tuned into the Barcelona Man United game. What a game that was, by the way. 2-2. I expect the second leg to be even better, I would say. So, hello, Ravi. I hope you are well. Big supporter of both of us. Hey, Kendall, how are you? I miss you so much, says Rennie.
Oh, hi, Rennie. I hope you're okay. I haven't streamed for ages, like on my own channel, so I haven't spoken to Rennie at all for ages. But yeah, I hope you're good, Rennie. That's really nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, here's Ravi with the first question. Thoughts on how the players have improved under Howe?
Yeah, every single player I think has improved under Howe. Sean Longstaff, who was basically a write-off for me at not last season, the season before, I would say. To be honest, even most of last season, he was a write-off for me. I just thought we could just move him on, and it was just one of them players who I just thought was never going to improve. Obviously, everyone's going to mention Joelinton because he is now looking like £40 million was an absolute bargain for a central midfielder of that calibre. Everyone's improved. I don't know whether it's because they have an actual style of play now, because they have a system to work towards. We play attack-minded football, and they've got a really, really decent coach in Eddie Howe. So I don't know whether that's to play the part, but the players are all really trying their best, and they're putting their all into every single game, and that's why we're coming out of games. Even like against Bournemouth last week, we played horribly. I must admit, we played I wouldn't say very badly, but we didn't play to the best of our abilities like I've seen this season, and we still didn't lose. So for me, that's just like everything about the way the club is at the moment, the unity and just the players. And yeah, you guys will have seen it with Liverpool before when you've won stuff in the past. Like, just that morale just cannot be questioned. I'm really sorry, my cat's just like in. I don't know if you can see a little ear.
Hello.
I don't know if you can see a little ear, but he just decided he wants an appearance on the show, so you can just go down there. He always does this now and again, like he'll ignore me the whole day, and then as soon as I start streaming, he's like, "Yeah, I want to be on the camera now."
Yeah.
But yeah, everyone's improved. I don't think there's a player who hasn't really.
No, definitely, and I would absolutely agree with it. Every player is definitely improved. Hello, Callum. Welcome to the chat. Hope you're well. Ryan is in. Hello, Ryan. Hope you're good. Another question: have Newcastle overachieved, and did you think Newcastle can get Europe?
I think so. The overachieving is a bit of a weird one because yes, I do think we've overachieved for the squad that we've got and the squad depth that we've got. And the injuries that we've had over the course of the season, because it hasn't been spoken about, but we were missing Wilson and St. Maximin for a good chunk of months over the beginning part of the season, and they both didn't come back till, well, obviously Callum went to the World Cup, but he was just fit before that. He's missing again now. We were missing Isak for a lot of time as well. Bruno was missing, he's missing again now. So yeah, we've where we are, I think we're prematurely achieving. But I wouldn't say overachieve because based on form and based on results, we are where we are. So I have. Whenever anyone said to me, "Have you overachieved?" I've said I wouldn't call it overachieving. I just think we're prematurely achieving. We're just a little bit ahead of schedule than we ever thought it would be. So yeah, and I didn't think we would get Europe at the beginning of the season, but I do think we'll get Europe now. As I've said, I think it'll be no matter what this season, we'll finish in a European football space.
Yeah, I think so as well. Ryan says these FSG pricks need to piss off. We could have had QIA, but FSG's greed has resulted in them about to buy United. They've broken me.
He's lost it today.
He has, yeah. Can't believe Joelinton used to be a striker. I know.
Yeah, I know. Can you believe it? Number 9. We bought him as a number 9 when he wasn't even a number 9. By the way, this is Steve Bruce and Mike Ashley, Newcastle United. Luckily. Good riddance for long gone of them, but yeah, madness, absolute madness.
And now he's turned into a world beater in midfield as well. Kendall, you're in the final against United in the Carabao Cup. Good luck, Kendall. Feel it'll be a 1-1 draw on Saturday, says Ryan. Well, we will get to that as well. Okay, I know this is a silly question. Can we nick Pope and Leicester?
No, obviously not.
Definitely
honestly,
not.
I swear to God, right? I used to slate so many of our players, like just Jamal Lascelles, for example. And now, if any of them left now, I'll be so sad. I'll be like, oh,
yeah.
Like when John Joe Shelby left, like in the transfer window, I was gutted. Honestly, he came onto the pitch at half time. And was saying bye to all the fans, and I was crying my eyes out. I was like, oh my God, I actually felt so sad because it's just like it's a comfort blanket for me. Like them players are like the likes of John Joe Shelby, Matt Ritchie, Jamal Lascelles, people like that have been with us through absolute thick and thin over the last 5-6 years. So for me, it was like that comfort blanket, and like it's kind of the bridge between the old and the new, and I just wasn't ready to give up. I was like, oh no, I'm so sad.
Yeah, no, I think John Joe Shelby was a very good servant, for Newcastle, and yeah, I think that did actually move me the other night when he came back to St James's Park to say his goodbyes. But we will get into it because your season so far fourth in the league. You have the best defence in the league. Are you a bit concerned about the draws, though? You've had 5 draws in your last 6 games.
Yeah, I'm very concerned. We just don't look like scoring at all at the moment. I don't know what it is. I know it sounds like an excuse, but the World Cup came at a really terrible time for us this time round because our momentum was immense before the World Cup, and the only really convincing games we've had since we returned have been the cup games. So obviously, well, apart from Leicester in the league, but yeah, the cup games against Leicester, the league game against Leicester, and then the cup games against Southampton, and even the second leg was that was cardiac arrest situation. That, but yeah, so we haven't looked very clinical at all. So yes, it is worrying me a lot, especially when Spurs are so Spursy. It's like they do absolutely awfully, like they did against Leicester at the weekend, but the week before they beat Man City. So it's like I don't know where we go from here. We really need to start winning games and picking up points convincingly, because there's teams like Brighton who are doing really well this season, Brentford, you know, they're all up and around there as well. Obviously, you guys in Chelsea, but you could put a run together at any moment. So yeah, it is a little bit nervous for us when we draw on every game. But I know the classic thing is, if you can't win, don't lose. But for me, we should be beating Bournemouth. It's as simple as that. But yeah, we struggled against them at home even this season as well. So I don't know. It's just particular teams we just can't seem to break down at all.
No, I mean, as you said, I did check. I did check actually, like your draws. Is it like 11 draws this season? It's At least you're not losing.
I mean, we might have drawn. We have drawn as many as we've won, or something like that.
I mean, as you say, at least you're not losing, which is the main thing. But I mean, obviously, players that you bought in this season, obviously Nick Pope, which was a very, very astute sign. I think everyone kind of expected Nick Pope to be in the Premier League, and to be at Newcastle, he's been fantastic. Sven Botman. Now, I'm going to go and say this now. He has been, for me, the best defender in the Premier League this season by a long way. How impressed have you been with Botman?
What a signing! Like, genuinely, what a signing! We wanted him last January, and obviously Lille weren't ready to give him up at that point, which I understand completely now. But yeah, we pursued, got him in the summer over AC Milan. And even my dad, who has been watching Newcastle all of his life, he's 56 years old, and he has been going to games for nearly 40 years. And he said he's the best defender that he's ever seen at Newcastle, even better than Woodgate.
Wow.
Anything like that. He said he's honestly the best defender that he's ever seen at Newcastle. Just the way he is on the ball, how calm no matter when you watch him, he's never under pressure. He's calm and he doesn't panic. And we've not lost when he's played a game this season, except in the cup. In the league, we haven't lost when he's actually played a game. So the only game we've lost this season, to be fair, is against you guys at Anfield. So he's so good. Really, really good. Still very young, 22 years old. So for me, I hope he's here for the next 10 years, because he's incredible. He's immense footballer.
He's been fabulous. He's been fabulous as well. And again, I suppose Alexander Isak is another very, very good signing. I know, obviously his debut against Liverpool, he scored a wonderful goal, actually, a top bins. Not a bad way to start your debut, but obviously injuries have been sort of played a part of his season, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's typical Newcastle. He's never had a long injury in his career before. I mean, he's only 23, to be fair to him, but he has played at a high level for a number of years, Dortmund and obviously Sociedad as well. This is his first more than a month injury in his career, so it's just typical. Luckily, the World Cup came at a decent time for us, because I say it came at a bad time in terms of momentum, but for Alexander Isak's injury, I suppose it came at an okay time, because it gave us that amount of time without forcing him back very quickly. So he only came back like mid-January. We didn't need to rush him back into anything, and we were still getting results at that point. So yeah, but when I watch him, he's just fantastic. Like, I can only imagine that, again, he'll be a player that improves significantly under Eddie Howe. He is everything that we don't have in any of the rest of the team. So Callum Wilson's just a classic number 9, classic striker, whereas Alexander Isak, he can cut in off the left or the right. He can play a 10 if he needs to. He can sit deep and then attack. So yeah, for me, it's just something that we don't have. And there's actually not a lot of strikers in the league who are built like him either, because he's like 6'3" or 4" and like very, very lean. So I think there's only probably Weghorst, who's a similar build, maybe Kai Havertz. I don't know how tall Kai Havertz is, but of a similar sort of build as him. So it'll be very interesting to see how much he plays and where for Newcastle at the moment. Because obviously Callum Wilson's just, I love Callum Wilson, but he's a crock. He's just a crock. There's just nothing else to say about him, which is a shame, because he is a very, very, very good football player. It's just, he's just injured all the time. So hoping Isak will be a big, Sven Botman will be a big part of Newcastle's future, really.
He's like your Daniel Sturridge. Like, Daniel Sturridge was fantastic when he played, but when he got injured, it was just the simple things that he got injured. Reminds me a bit of like Naby Keita when he usually gets injured as well. But yeah, it's a shame, because I do.
it's never like 2 days. It's always like, oh, Callum Wilson's got a knock, he's out for 3 months. It's like, it's just so frustrating because, again, because we're struggling for goals at the moment as well. It's like, oh, friggin' hell, that's all we need. We let a striker go in Chris Rudd in January. So, yeah, it's like, bloody hell, that's all you need at the moment. You'll probably feel the same with injuries that Liverpool have got as well. It's just everything kind of happens all at once at a bad time.
Yeah, definitely. We'll go into the chat. My head is hot today. I detest FSG. They disgust me. Ryan, not a fan of... obviously, I know, I understand
Ryan
that.
loves Shelby, by the way.
Shelby, what a baller. We'd take him over most of our midfielders now. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Who scores the first goal? Good question.
Isak.
Isak.
Wishful thinking, I'm like, he'll score. Oh, what about, imagine if Anthony Gordon scores against Liverpool.
Yeah, that is one thing I'm dreading on Saturday, is knowing that Anthony Gordon has joined a proper club now, I've got to say.
Facts.
Yeah, I am a bit worried. Actually, if Firmino plays, I'm going to go Firmino, because Firmino loves a goal against Newcastle.
He does actually, yeah, he does. That's very true.
Question, Kendall, did you think you should have been Arsenal?
No, I don't think we should have beaten them. I thought a draw was an extremely fair result, to be quite honest with you. I know, like, Arsenal fans and that were whinging, saying we were time wasting, we parked the bus and stuff. Well, so what? That's how you go in and win a football game. You do anything tactically to win a football game. It might not be pretty at the best of times. I love Simeone ball. Why do you think I love Simeone ball? Like, it's pragmatic football. That's what I always call it. It's not the best to watch. It's not pretty. But to be fair, that's the first time we've gone to park a bus in a game. When we played Man City earlier in the season, we took the game to them. It was just, we immediately saw the way that Arsenal were coming out of the blocks. Have you guys will have played them this season, surely, as well?
Yeah.
The way that Arsenal came out of the blocks immediately, were just quick forward pressing all of the time. We just, there was no way we could have handled that for 90 minutes. So yeah, of course we were going to park the bus.
Yeah.
So sorry. Rather, your question is no. I don't think we should beat them. I think the draw was fair.
Yeah, absolutely. John Shelby is actually really underrated, in my opinion. His energy and long passing were key for Newcastle in crucial games over the years. Absolutely. Rennie says, "I'm sorry for my bad English." Well, I'm Scottish, so I know how you feel. Nah, I'm joking. No need to apologise. No need to apologise at all. Watching Harvey Elliott in midfield, Shelby's like Zidane compared to him. Yeah, Ryan is not a Harvey Elliott.
I thought Harvey Elliott was a wonder kid, man. What's going on there?
Yeah, Ryan is not a big Harvey Elliott fan.
Ryan's just like totally anti-Liverpool at the moment. I don't know.
Yeah, we're only 8 points. We're only 8 points off 40 points now. That 2-0 win against Everton was huge. Yeah, see how basically last season we were going for every single trophy that was that was basically put in front of us, and now we're literally saying 40 points basically survival.
Yeah, how
it's
times
mad.
change.
It is
Honestly,
mad,
football
mad.
is a very cruel game. Very cruel game.
He's there. Then he says, "If Eddie Howe doesn't work in Newcastle in the future, I feel like Pep Linders would be an excellent appointment."
Bloody palm Pep Linders onto me. Yeah, that's just, you want out your problem to be my problem. I see what you're doing. And like everything falls down to Pep Linders every single time something goes wrong at Liverpool. It's just like Pep Linders' fault.
Pep Linders,
it's a bloody book.
Botman is so good. Botman has been fantastic. He has been absolutely fantastic. And obviously, for people who don't know, you are an Atletico Madrid fan. Kieran Trippier, what a signing!
Yeah. You know, when I used to do, you probably remember, Doug, because I think we've followed each other for a number of years now on social media. And whenever I used to do podcasts, specifically, I would say last season, the season before, because obviously Atleti won the league 2020/21. And every time I would get asked who I would take from Atletico and bring to Newcastle, this was obviously pre-takeover, I'd always said Kieran Trippier. And I always used to get funny looks because everyone was like, what, you wouldn't take João Felix, wouldn't take Suarez, wouldn't take Marcus Llorente? And I said from day one it would be Kieran Trippier, because at that time at Newcastle, I can't remember, and my dad says Warren Barton and stuff, but I don't remember that at all. I can't remember a decent right back that we've had at Newcastle. So I always used to say it would always be Kieran Trippier, because he was absolutely instrumental in Atleti winning the league. Him and Marcus Llorente's link up. He is a leader. The quality and experience that he's had for a footballer who is, I mean, he's 30. I think he's 32 now.
Yeah.
A footballer of his age, the experience and stuff, Champions League, La Liga titles, like he's just played at the very highest levels. And I had always said that to our tape because he was just my number one at Atleti as well. And yeah, when we signed him last January, like I was genuinely in tears because I was like, I've said this for so long, like you don't understand. I could not believe it was happening. And at that time, we were 19th in the Premier League table. So again, a player of Kieran Trippier's calibre to come to the club and be the first one to take the step under the new ownership, under the new era of Newcastle, under the new manager, and for it to actually not be about money. Because he said all along, if it was about money, he would have just stayed at Atletico because what they were offering was like treble the package of what Newcastle offered him. But he said he wanted a new challenge. He trusted Eddie Howe because he's played under Eddie Howe before, a long time ago, at Burnley. So yeah, he's been immense. He's never ever below 7.5 out of 10. Never, even on a bad day, he's never below it. He's been probably one of, if not the most informed fullback in Europe, like across the board. I'm not saying that he's the best or like the best of quality, but just in form. He's, as I say, he's never below 7.5 out of 10. If anyone does FPL on here, you'll see his FPL points are literally like 30 points above the next best fullback in the league. And I know FPL doesn't tell you everything because of the way they allocate points is bizarre at times, but it just goes to show like how many points he's rescuing us over the last specifically this season. But he's just I cannot. He'll always be remembered now for the rest of my life at least. And a lot of people who were around when the Newcastle takeover happened, he'll be remembered as the one who took the first step. So he'll always have a massive place in definitely the recent Newcastle fan generation. So yeah.
Yeah. How is your fantasy Premier League team doing?
I'm all right, actually. I'm okay. I don't take it that serious, though. I'm not very tactical. Like, I don't think about stuff. Me, I think I'll just put a player in there. I don't like go in and sit like for 3 days worrying about it because I just can't do it. I'm not clever enough to think about stuff like that. Like when it comes to FPL, but I'm doing okay. I'm all right. It's just Haaland has been knocking me off the last few weeks because he hasn't been scoring. Well, he scored yesterday, but the last few weeks, obviously, he was out one game and he was my captain, and I just kept forgetting to change it, and it was getting annoying us because he wasn't scoring. And he was like me one that was there. But obviously I've got Rashford. I've got Kane is another one. Scores 2 1 week and then misses 3 weeks. It's just annoying. And I'm not tactically minded enough to think about like stuff like that.
Neither am I. I can safely say that. Philip is in, as Newcastle will have one eye on the cup final at the end of the month. I feel it's a perfect time to play them, and I say we'll win 2-1. Interesting, Philip. Ryan, not even the charity shop is taking Linders for free. Lol.
I've never heard that. That's actually really good.
I can't stand Linders. I'd have Sam Allardyce as manager over him. I'd take Shelby all day long over Hooferson. If Gordon scores, I'm turning the game off. Rennie's asking how tall Botman is. He's 6'4".
6'4", yeah.
6'4", because then he says
we must have the tallest team in the Premier League, right? Because if you genuinely think about it, Nick Pope 6'6". Obviously not Kieran Trippier, he's probably the anomaly actually, but like Dan Burns 6'7". Sven Botman 6'4". Fabian Schär I think is about 6'2". Joelinton's about 6'3". Who else have we got? I think Anthony Gordon's actually 6 foot. I genuinely thought Anthony Gordon was like a tiny person. I thought he was a tiny person. I thought he was like 5'3" something, but like he's literally not. He's actually really tall. Who else have we got? Sean Longstaff's about 6'1", 6'2". Alexander Isak 6'3", or 6'4" he might be as well. We've got a massive team, but we can't head a ball.
I know it's
madness.
We
literally can't head a ball. I'm not joking. We actually can't head a ball. It's so annoying. It is the most frustrating thing when I see a corner getting swept in. I just think, what's the point? It's going to go straight at the keeper because we can't head a ball. And we got rid of the only person that could head a ball, Chris Wood. He's the only player in the whole team that can head a ball, and we got rid of him. I don't even care if that's what we paid 25 million for a header. I don't care. No one else can head a ball. It's actually very frustrating. Very frustrating. Yeah,
absolutely. I think he'll start Salah, Gakpo, and Nunes up front against Newcastle, and Shaw will come in for Gakpo against Madrid. Kyber Kai L-Stream, just kidding. Who will win? Well, you guys are unbeaten at St James's Park because the only defeat you had was at Anfield.
I know. What a mad game that was as well. It's a funny situation because As sorry, I can't remember who. Philip, I think it was, who said it's a good time to play us because obviously we've got the final to think about. Yeah, but you've also got the Champions League to think about in the week following this game as well. And this is like realistically, this is your guys' only chance now of a cup this season. So, and you've got injuries, we've got injuries. So I honestly think both teams are going to be not at the races, in my opinion. I genuinely don't think Eddie Howe and Klopp, as managers, would allow anything less than being 100%. But I just think players' mentality, not wanting to get injured for the final as well.
Yes.
If on our behalf, anyway, we've already got Joe Willock out, so I honestly think like it's going to be. I will not be surprised if it's 0-0. Like genuinely on score.
0-0. Believe it or not, I actually did a prediction stream. I think it was last night. And actually, someone's prediction was actually 0-0, believe it or not, because obviously you don't want to get players injured. Actually, one thing I did want to ask you, because there's a stat going around that might be a bit concerning. You've not won a game without Bruno Guimaraes in the Premier League, I believe. Is that right?
I'm actually not sure, but that wouldn't shock me. That wouldn't shock me at all.
Yeah.
If we haven't.
How concerning is that? Because Bruno Guimaraes is a fantastic player. Don't get me wrong, but you do seem to lack a little bit of creativity without
100%. 100% in the midfield, we don't have anyone who does who can come in and replace. If Joelinton's out, right, we just kind of Sean Longstaff just slots in. He doesn't do as well as Joelinton, but he does what Joelinton does, if that makes sense. Like he does his role. Joe Willock, there's another problem. If Joe Willock's out, we don't have anyone in the midfield who is a ball carrier like Joe Willock.
Yeah.
Our midfield is massively imbalanced, like 100% imbalanced. And this was my issue in January because we didn't buy a midfielder. And I had said from consistently from even the window in the summer, I had said we are desperate for a midfielder because we don't have, because John Joe Shelby was out at the time as well in the summer when I was saying this. We needed a midfielder because, in my opinion, I love Elliot Anderson and he's one of our own and everything like that, but he's not up to speed at the moment of the Premier League. He's not good enough to just slot in there. And we don't have another central midfielder. So it's like, I don't know where we go from here. So it is massively concerning because we don't have anyone. If we lose a midfielder, we don't have anyone to go in and replace straight away. So that is that is a concern to me. It is a concern. And it doesn't surprise me that we haven't won it. If that stat's genuinely true, it wouldn't surprise me at all because we don't have anyone who can spray a long ball like Bruno can, who on the ball, he's very accurate with his movement. He's a very neat footballer, Bruno. We just don't have anyone like that at all. So yeah, it doesn't honestly shock me if that's the case. So
obviously, I think the safest thing to say is a midfielder will definitely be the priority in the summer.
Yeah, I would have said so 100% because obviously we've lost Shelby now as well, so we just don't have.
That's true.
We don't have anyone at all. I must admit, obviously I keep saying I don't have a gripe and stuff, and in reality I don't actually have a gripe. But if I had to pick something, the January window for me was weird. It was just weird. I just don't think we addressed anything at all. Like, yes, we got Gordon, fair enough, whatever. Like, I think he's been really good since he's come in. And I did not want that boy. I did not want him. But he's shown me up to be a mug, to be fair, because he's actually looked really good. But we didn't address anything else. Like, that was it. We got Anthony Gordon. Like, that was it. Now we let a striker go, didn't replace a striker. Let John Joe Shelby go, didn't replace a midfielder.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I wasn't understanding January at all, especially when we don't have depth anywhere. Like you'll be 100% on the same page as me with transfers. I know you will. You're 10 times worse than I am. But yeah, I just didn't. Just January was just weird for me, despite the fact the fair enough Harrison Ashby because he's going to be like Kieran Trippier's like little apprentice. But other than that, yeah, I just thought it was weird. It was just a weird window. I didn't address anything at all.
It did feel like a weird window. Rennie's asked one question for Kendall: how is Amy?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, she's absolutely fine. She's fast asleep. She started I don't know if anyone knows what Rainbows is. It's kind of like the girls' version of Scouts and Cubs in the UK. And yeah, she started Rainbows, so she's been at Rainbows tonight. So she's flat out by 7:30.
Oh,
she's
bless.
100% flat out on a Thursday.
Bless.
Night, so yeah.
Bless. No, that is lovely. I love Klopp. He has to take blame for allowing Linders to have so much influence, says Ryan. Even though Hooferson had a good game against Everton.
Who's Hooferson? Harvey Elliott?
Henderson, I think. Oh, Henderson. Keita should come in. His performance last season away to Newcastle, it was special. Yes, he scored the winning goal.
Isn't Naby Keita fit?
I believe he is, yeah.
God. Oh, well, that means he's going to win because things happen in the blue moon. Like, things like that.
This Castle and more recoupling is heated. I wish Klopp would show this lack of loyalty towards some of the players. Which players for Liverpool need to show more in games? Oh, good question. Gomez. I know he had a bit of a bad game. I know he had a good game against Everton, but since then he's been pretty shocking. Fabinho had a good game against Everton. He needs to show it consistently. He hasn't been right up as well. What have you made of Liverpool this season? Has it been a bit of a surprise how bad the drop off has been?
Yeah, because as you said, you were battling for 4 trophies last season, so it was just a bit like the drop off has been immense. I mean, by Liverpool standards anyway. For the past few years, you've been really a fantastic team, or even under Klopp, I would say. Since Klopp's come in, but yeah, the drop off's been insane. And in fact, like when I watch, I'm just like, it's not Liverpool at all. Again, I just thought the window was. You'd probably had a million rants on that, but the transfer windows for me was, especially January. Gakpo, wow, okay, fine, great. Yeah. Where was the rest? What were they even thinking? I was just like, you cannot. There's greed, right? I understand there's greed, and then there's just utter stupidity by the owners because you wanted to sell a club or sell a stake or whatever. No one's going to buy a club who look bad anymore. Like you're just not gonna. You want the club at the best possible selling. Like what's the word?
Yeah.
Like desirability. You want a club who's successful. You want a club who looks like, yeah, let's go in and invest in that club because we're going to do stuff. Like, I don't understand why they sat there and thought to themselves, like, let's just not invest in this club. I honestly, I just don't understand it. And I am totally pro bad owner out. Every single time, I don't care who it is. If Man United fans want to moan about Glazers, please do. If Arsenal fans used to want to moan about the Cronkies, please do. Daniel Levy, FSG, whoever it is. I am so pro bad owner out, but like I just don't understand these business people. Like, why are these? How can you make so much money but be so stupid? Like, genuinely be so stupid. I don't. It just doesn't make any sense to me at all.
I mean, the midfield thing is just going to be a question upon question upon question this season. It's like, why have we not strengthened the midfield? I just do not get it. I just do not get it at all. George Kyle, hello, mate. Hope you're good. Nicola's in as well. Reviews football. I can't lie. I don't think Firmino has a great record against Newcastle. Salah defo does, my king. This is a pivotal.
Salah would just find his form as well. Bloody the week before. Like, honestly, bloody hell.
This is a pivotal moment in the season for both sides regarding top 4. I think Newcastle have always needed a clinical finisher. Says George, too many draws.
Finisher, he's just not fit. He's just not a fit person. Like he just isn't. Throughout his career, he's had severe injuries. He's done both ACLs, like before in his career, and like, do you know what I mean? It's that sort of person. Like, normally, a person has an ACL injury, it's one leg and that's it. They never have another one in their career. He's done both ACLs. He's just out all the time. He gets a knock and he's out for 2 months. It's just so frustrating because, like, as I say, he's such a good striker, and there's not many players who are just a classic striker like that anymore. It's actually hard to find. Like sort of just being a sole number 9 now is almost dying out. But yeah, it's just frustrating. I agree with George.
There are certain players that get injured a lot. Like obviously Thomas Partey for Arsenal is a big one. Anthony Martial for Manchester United. I think that's fair to say. For us, it's probably Naby Keita. You know, there's a lot of players who just don't recover from injured. Question, Kendall, thoughts on how Newcastle have been in away games this season?
Yeah, we've been okay. We've been better at home, I would say, for the most part. But we've been okay. Look, we've lost 1 game all season. Like, it's actually annoying. It's genuinely annoying. Like, it could have been like Invincibles. We just wouldn't have won the league. That's all. But all these draws. But yeah, we've been pretty okay, to be honest. I think we're just better at home because the fans are just amazing at home. So yeah.
Chris, I think you share everyone's. Well, obviously, I know George is in the chat. Even though just got on from work, I hope Newcastle beat Manchester United in the cup final. Absolutely.
Me too, yes.
Michael, thank you very much for the super chat. Please go and check out Michael Talks Football. Knows his stuff. Big up Douglas and Kendall. If Newcastle lose, does Kendall think top four is slipping further away? The main goal for Newcastle is Europe and a trophy.
Yeah, I do think so. Look, everyone's asked me if I would rather top four and win the final, or win the final. Sorry, and if I had to choose, obviously I would like both. Of course, I would. I'd love Champions League and the trophy, but if I had to choose, it would be the trophy. So yeah, top four for me is not. If we lose top four, I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm gutted. I'm just the only thing I'll be is just a little bit frustrated because I think the chain of events that have happened this season, we will never have an easier chain of events to make top four more achievable.
Yeah.
So, like, Liverpool and Chelsea have been off form this season. They're low down the table. Man City haven't been the best this season. Man United had a really bad start to the season. Tottenham aren't doing well. Conte's on the verge of, like, leaving. I hope he's okay, obviously, because he's been ill. But, Harry Kane not firing as he usually is, despite the fact he is still firing. Haaland's been obviously out. Like, just everything is just... Like Bentancur getting injured for Tottenham. Like just everything around us not having a midweek game when everyone else around us does.
Yeah.
Just, all of these things that we're just not capitalising when teams around us are losing. We're not capitalising when other teams have an injury and are on the best form. We're just not doing that. And that is going to be when it boils down to it. If we don't get top four, that's going to be the frustration. Not getting top four, if that makes sense. Because as I've said, I'm still happy if we get any sort of European football because it's massive progression. But I think if we lose at the weekend, that's going to be a bit like, oh, for God's sake. But it's almost kind of like deletes the pressure a little bit because we are unbeaten and you are trying to like keep that up all of the time, and it's always in the back of your mind that you've never lost a game at home and stuff. So yeah, I do agree. I think if we lose at the weekend, it's a little bit worrying because Tottenham, they're not that far behind. Brighton, not that far behind. Fulham, Brentford. So yeah, it's and if you guys get 3 points and you're kind of within touching distance, so it's like we really just need not to lose at the weekend, basically.
Yeah, definitely. But Michael, thank you very much for the super chat, mate. I appreciate that as well. Chris Ross says sums 2023 up. Kate have been fit. That is very, very true. That is very, very true. We do have to go back to the earlier game this season. What do you remember of it? Because a lot has been said about this game. There will be a bit of an edge to the game, especially with what happened on the two benches, as well, and obviously the amount of time that we had, added on. What do you remember of that game, and do you still feel that was that you basically owe us one on Saturday?
I still get annoyed at that result because I'm like, we should not have lost. Obviously, the goal was that we had a goal ruled out and stuff like that, and added on time, and there was brawls and whatnot on the side of the field, and it was a very heightened game. I think I agree with you. I think there is going to be a bite to the game on Saturday. I think obviously we're going to have it in our heads like this is the only game we've lost all season. Like we can't let that happen again. So yeah, obviously the good thing about the first result was that the result was not good, but the first game was that Isak played probably his best game in a Newcastle shirt. He was immense. He was absolutely immense. So I'm just hoping like that the game again suits him and he plays to the best of his abilities. But it was a very weird game. Twitter was horrible for about 5 days after that game. Twitter was horrible. Everyone was just arguing. Everyone was just having to go at each other's clubs, and everyone was just having to go at each other. And it was just honestly horrible. Like the amount of people that I could have genuinely fallen out with over a football game is insane. And I've tried, actually, to be fair, that game, the arguments that I had after that game, I have actually stayed away from Twitter post game now because, for the most part, I'll say my piece and I'll kind of just go because it was just so horrible. Honestly, Twitter was just an awful place for the next few days. But look, based on form, you would think us at home, God, you would have to go into that game and win. But I just don't trust us at the moment. Yous have picked up obviously points recently. Salah's sort of become back to Salah again. We've been drawing games left, right, and centre. So it's like I don't know what's going to happen now.
Yeah, I know. And yeah, that game we shouldn't have won. It's just as simple as that. I mean, yes, that goal was ruled out by VAR. I think it was his toenail.
Yeah, literally
It's
like millimeters.
Yeah, I mean, I said on another Toon channel this evening that the referees are as bad as each other. Oh, who have we got? Anthony Bloody Taylor. Typical.
Great. There you go, red card. Someone missed the final. That's honestly. Do you know what? I've friggin' said it now. I've said it's going to happen. I'm going to have to touch wood. I'm going to touch me jaw. Yeah. Do you know what though? I don't trust any referee. I don't. No matter who
Neither do I.
Now on an official, whenever I see the sheet and it's like, oh, referee, I'm like, what's the point? It's because everyone's got issues. Like every single referee is extremely terrible. Like there's just no consistency. There's nothing good about the officials in this country, and it's actually sad. Like we've got David Coo, who is a very notorious Manchester United fan.
Yeah,
like,
I saw that. I was like,
how you allowed a referee a final? I don't understand how it's allowed. I honestly don't.
I don't get it either. I don't get it either. But it's just one of those things. Like Gomez, yes, I know he had a sick game, even though he has been terrible this season. Kendall, Naby and the word fit in the same sentence just don't mix.
I'm so shocked.
Most players need to show more and stop feeling sorry for themselves. I don't feel sorry for them, says Chris. Seems to me the Liverpool play such high energy that fatigue is the main issue. Also aging players. Oh, yeah, definitely. Not replace the engine room midfield, which is where the key is. Oh, here we go. Interesting fact. Harvey Elliott has appeared in every game for us this season. We're 9th. Last season, he barely played, and we almost conquered football. Yeah.
Right on. He's just using it as like a platform. It's like therapy for him. Like, get it out, Ryan, man. Just get it out.
Yeah, and then Chris Welsh has gone, don't worry, we've got Arthur Melo, as much used as a marshmallow, pardon the pun. He's been terrible. 12 minutes against Napoli all season. Dreadful. I'm not saying it's all Elliot, of course, but that is a stat that clearly sums up why we're so shit this
So it is
season.
all Elliot. Okay, I get it. Ryan's going to get Pep Linders.
Ryan, but you signed Elliot's name at games, lol. Elliot doesn't have a song, so I didn't sign his name at any times. I like how George calls himself the GOAT. I would say complete opposite with him being United fan. Just messing.
I like Chris. Chris is good. Chris, you can stay. Yeah, absolutely. I'm enjoying it.
Lol, Ryan, you just shouted his name. Rennie, who did you pick to be relegated? Now, did you pick the Scouse Mackems to go down or not?
Yes, I did. Lovely. I'll celebrate. I'll say see you later. Bye. Honestly, one thing I have in common with Liverpool fans, I absolutely hate, and people say, "Oh, hate's a strong word." No, I hate Everton. I hate everything about them. I hate the fans. I hate the club. I hate everything about Everton Football Club. I just can't. As Doug says, Scouse Mackems. So yeah, I did actually, but I was very wrong actually, to be fair, because I did have Fulham. I didn't have Fulham to get relegated. I don't think. Did I? I can't remember how I had to get relegated now.
My three at the start.
Fulham and who?
I had Bournemouth, Fulham, and Southampton.
I can't remember even who I had. I think I had Bournemouth 20th, Fulham 19th, and then I had Everton 18th. I think that's who I had. And obviously, yeah, Fulham are doing incredible things this season.
That was exactly the same order. I had Southampton in 18th as well.
Yeah.
So, and I do fear for Southampton, I've got to say.
They're gone. They're gone.
Yeah.
I'm afraid.
I think so.
Unless you get an absolute miracle now, like a Sam Allardyce-esque miracle. I can't see them. Like, there's another thing. What was the point in going? I know Jesse Marsh is obviously not going to be the manager now, but what was the point in going for Jesse Marsh? He got sacked off a team who was like 3 places above them because he couldn't get a result in a relegation battle. Why would you then think, oh, he's the one to get us out of this? Like, Howie, man. It's just not thinking for the future. Like,
no,
you've got to think,
it's not.
You've got to think properly in situations like that. It's just got to be a man of the moment thing. Like Everton have done, in my opinion, unbelievable business getting Sean Dyche in. I think that's
definitely
the kind of appointment you need in that. He's not glamorous, don't get us wrong, but that's the appointment you need in that situation. So yeah, it just was
And
weird for me,
there's a couple of games I'm looking at this weekend, right? Wolves Bournemouth's one of them. Everton Leeds. That is a proverbial 6-pointer. If Leeds were to lose that, they would be leapfrogged by Everton.
Wow. Gonna be spicy. Isn't it? I know you won't think it, obviously Liverpool aren't doing like great in that, but it's a spicy season actually. Like relegation battles really close, top four's really close, European places are really close.
Yep.
Like it's gonna be a really, really good season, I think. Obviously not for a couple of clubs. But yeah, I think it'll be a good season. So like if you're a neutral, I guess, if you're not haven't got any
Yeah, definitely. George says Anthony Martial is always bloody injured, annoys the hell out of me. Such a superb player. I shout his name a lot because he pisses me off. Kendall, one team in the Prem that you always love to beat currently. I think you've just answered it. Everton.
Everton every single time. In fact, it really annoyed me because we literally kept them up last season. It annoyed the life out of me because they hadn't won like all season, and then they beat us 1-0. Oh my god, I hated it. I hated every single bit of it.
94th minute, wasn't it?
Yeah, I will think about that result until the day I die, genuinely. And the worst thing is Eddie Howe's an Everton fan, so I just can't deal with them. It's them. I like beating them, and I like beating Man United. It's them. They're the two teams I like beating most.
Yeah. Good question, Chris. Does Kendall think Newcastle lacks squad depth?
100%. It's our biggest issue. 100%. It's going to take us. Look, it is going to take us 3-4 years to even get remotely anywhere near the depth that we need to compete at the highest level of all of the competitions and stuff. We just don't have it. We've just been very fortunate that we've managed to play mostly the same starting 11. Because other than that, after our starting 11, it's like we don't have any backups. So we had the same problem last season, I think, as well, not having enough squad depth, and obviously, we got tired. George says if it goes to penalties in League Cup final, we may as well hand Newcastle the trophy with De Gea's penalty record. Question, Douglas. Someone actually tried to say to me the other day, by the way, that De Gea's been like better than Nick Pope this season, and I was like, whatever you're smoking, I would like.
Well. I actually shared something the other day on actual Twitter site. Let me just see if I can find it, because I did actually see something that might actually shock a lot of people. Let me have a look. Yeah, De Gea. So he is in the 24 percentile of goals against, 52 goals against, 25% percentile in save percentage, 25% in save percentage of penalty kicks, 7 percentile of touches, 24% touch of launch, and 21% of goal kicks. And you're telling me that De Gea's had a better season than Nick Pope? All right.
Honestly, yeah, just some people are just crazy.
Yeah. Deluded is the easy word to say. Yeah, but surely Newcastle will start spending big sums of investment, then they'll be competitive in future seasons. I'm not jumping on the bouncy castle over winning one game against Everton. Need to do it consistently. Newcastle got some exceptional players, but then past the first 11, the wider squad is still weaker compared to others. I was surprised Leicester beat Spurs. I wasn't. Rennie, Spurs are Spurs. Spurs beat Manchester City 1-0. They then go and lose 4-1 to Newcastle to Leicester, and then they lose in Milan. And to be honest, their performance in Milan was shocking, to say the very, very least. It was very, very poor. I remember the earlier game very well as I watched it all. Newcastle were so unlucky. Yeah, they were, because they had so many injuries. Ryan says about the game earlier on in the season, we should never have won. The added time at the end was correct, to be fair, but Newcastle deserved to get something. Ooh. Interesting. Joelinton played out of a skin that game, man of the match by miles. Yeah, he's a completely different
honestly
player.
Nearly like every week he's man of the match. Honestly, the improvement's been just immense.
He's been brilliant. Just very frustrating that the players that came in couldn't perform to the level of the first team regulars. Fabio Carvalho will deserve winner. Yeah, post game can get extremely toxic. I like to see Newcastle do well, have soft spot for their fans, them and Palace fans, best fans in the league, and I'm only 1 hour or so away from Newcastle, with me being from beautiful Carlisle. Chris, are you going in the game on Saturday, perchance? I wonder. Because Carlisle's not far from Newcastle.
Chris. Yeah, my best friend's from Carlisle, so it is a very beautiful place.
Yeah, David Coote is the referee for the League Cup final. Anthony Taylor, I have a few choice words for him. Yeah, maybe keep it to yourself. Nah, it's Wembley Stadium, even though the memes are funny. I think Elliott and Jones would be excellent for Newcastle as well. Newcastle a
sure
lot more
you do.
depth in midfield and a backup right winner for Alma. Oh, that's one player I've been meaning to mention. Miguel Almiron. Is it 11 goals this season?
Yeah, it's like more. He's got more goals this season than he has in his previous 110 appearances, something like that.
Whatever was fed to him in pre-season, he's obviously done it.
Slander. If you've got a player that's performing badly, you just need to prescribe him some Jack Grealish slander, and then they'll go through a purple patch. Great, honestly, just fantastic.
Yeah, I know Grealish scored last night, but still, Miguel Almiron's got more goals than him. I did point out Elliott was poor at the start of the season myself. Arthur Melo has a ban because of Juventus. Oh, does he? I didn't know that, Ravi. I did not know that. He doesn't get his head up enough. I picked Leeds, Bournemouth, and Fulham. Ooh.
Everyone had Bournemouth and Fulham, to be fair, right? And Fulham have just absolutely just mugged everybody off because they're doing immense. I had Fulham as well, but they just did immense.
Ryan says if Everton go down, ... Fulham for me was diabolical. I can't remember who I had to go down. I can't remember last week. Ryan, bet you regret buying that Curtis Jones shirt full price at the club shop. Curtis Jones, Jesus. I think everyone will skate with Deitch now. I would never buy a Curtis Jones shirt. I have self-respect. With Lampard, there was certain doom. Jesse Marsh, more style than substance, never the right appointment. Leeds only stayed up because Burnley were bad. Marsh, if I'm honest, more
Leeds
Mr.
only
Magoo.
stayed up, right, because we beat Burnley on the last day of the season.
That's right.
If Burnley had won, they would have stayed up.
That is very, very right. Very true. Hello, Luke. I hope you're good. I'm good, mate. I'm good. And have more faith in your team, is what I'll say. Have more faith in your team. Hi, Lucas, says George. Bye, Dollars Kendall. Hope you have a good day and take care of yourself, and good luck for both teams on Saturday. Thank you very much.
You, Renee. Can we have James Madison? Thanks.
Oh, like it. Guess you were right about the title race. You okay, George? By Rennie. I was all this along. Good. Thanks, Luke. I hope you're good. Newcastle exceeded expectations for me this season. Didn't expect them in top 6. I expected 7th at best. You said 9th. I actually said 8th. I said 8th for Newcastle.
People had us about 8th or 9th. So yeah.
The Hares were the most protected player in world football. Yeah, I'm good. Hi, Chris. FSG out, Linder's out, Gomez out, Matip out, respectively. Jones and Elliott out. Ox out, Kate out, Hooferson out, respectively. Milner out, respectively, and Fabinho out. Crikey, how many is that? Right. FSG, Linders, Gomez, Matip, Jones, Elliott, Ox, Keita, Henderson, Milner, and Fabinho. That's 9 players you want to sell. I'm not so sure about that. I'm not sure about that. Anyone who watches both knows Pope is absolutely miles clear. Yes, he certainly is.
£10 million bargain, Nick Pope, mind. £10 million.
Exactly. Lucas says 3-1 to Newcastle. Ooh, interesting. Getting in there.
That all day long.
How exceeded my expectations. Said he would keep Newcastle up, but didn't expect anything more than fair play to him. Yeah, a lot of people actually said he didn't have a very good defence at Bournemouth, but I like what actually was said. Did he go away with Simeone? I read somewhere apparently
he went to he actually trained with Klopp for a little bit, trained with Simeone for a little bit, and then went and trained with the Denmark national team as well for a while. And yeah, he just said he went away to learn about different things about football and to learn about different styles and just kind of get better as a manager. And yeah, he's definitely have done that. And yeah, everyone said Eddie Howe couldn't manage defence, so best defensive record in the Premier League right now.
Lucas says, Newcastle will beat Liverpool. However, Jota is back now, which will be interesting. Will we get Liverpool back what they were now they got their players back? I'm not holding my hopes up. Let me just say that. And then Chris Welsh has said, Spurs are bridesmaids. Who cares about them? Bridesmaids belong at weddings. And Chris says, yes, I'm going. There we go. There we go indeed. I can't lie. When we beat Newcastle away last season, life was so good back then. I legit thought we were going to win everything. FFS.
What was the result last season? 1-0 at St James's Park?
1-0 at St James's. Keita got the winner. Set up by James Milner, believe it or not.
Yeah, classic James Milner, right? Someone said to me, someone asked me on Twitter yesterday, would you take James Milner at a free? And someone was like, no. Would any Premier League team take James Milner on a free in the summer? I really don't think so.
Leeds, maybe?
Yeah, Leeds, maybe.
Yeah.
Old time's sake.
Ravi's asked, what's your favourite formation? For me, it's a 4-2-3-1. I've been saying it for a wee while. We need to play 4-2-3-1.
For my team, so my favourite formation is 4-2-3-1, but not for Newcastle. 4-2-3-1 is just my general favourite formation anyway. But 4-3-3 for Newcastle.
4-3-3.
Fine for us, yeah. 4-3-3 for me.
Yeah. Artemello, who's that? Yeah, I don't know. Casper the Friendly Ghost. He hasn't been, honestly, 12 minutes against Napoli. That's all he's had. Kendall Douglas, thoughts on Paulinho at Fulham? What a top. He's been fabulous, Paulinho. I've got to say.
What a signing.
We'd not be surprised.
Like 20 odd million as well. He was what a signing, seriously.
I know. He'll probably be worth what, 40, 50 in like
Easy.
Summer.
Yeah.
Easily. If we win on Saturday, we're back in the top 4 race for sure. I would agree with that. Yeah, Towers going the distance. Yeah, we knew he was going to go the distance anyway. If Arthur Melo has a ban, why sign him first place? Are we living outside of our minds? I had Newcastle very high up. Douglas will testify. Yes, you did, George. You actually had them, was it 5th or 6th, I think. 5th
I'll
or
take
6th.
it. If you say to me now, you can win the cup and have 5th or 6th, well, I'll be taking it all day long, 100%.
De Gea, not even number 1 keeper for Spain. For me, is David Raya. I've seen his stats. I think on that same website. Obviously, I did De Gea. He has been phenomenal for Brentford. He has been absolutely phenomenal. Not as good as Nick Pope, I'll be honest, but he has been phenomenal.
I wouldn't care though. When we played him, he was awful. He was absolutely horrendous. We beat him 4-1. He was horrendous.
Yeah.
But I just.
I like it. Was it 5? Was it 5-1?
Oh, it might be 5-1. We beat Fulham 4-1. Was it? It might be 5-1 against Brentford. Yeah, just ridiculous.
Yeah, we did win a match finally.
Then he's been fantastic.
Yeah, we did win a match finally. We did beat Everton by 2-0. Who do you think the danger player for Liverpool will be on Saturday?
It's got to be Salah. Well, Salah's on form again.
Salah.
I know that's very typical. Obviously, that's a typical answer, but it's got to be Salah. He's not obviously been the Salah we know this season, but he's picked up form again now, so. It's going to be Salah. And again, as was mentioned earlier, he loves a goal against Newcastle. Just another one who loves a bloody goal against Newcastle. So,
yeah. I've got a feeling Núñez might be a bit of a problem. I know that like he is a hard worker, but I think the intelligence to play Salah, Jordan Pick. Actually, do you know what? Just because Kendall's on, I will share where Jordan Pickford. Where the bloody hell was he going?
I can't.
Like
he was literally going to a canteen. What is his problem? I actually.
Like literally, is he thinking Gakpo's going to get that? Like Salah's not going to miss from there anyway. Like the funniest thing is that's Andy Robertson there as well with Gakpo and Salah, but. Where was he like, honestly, Pickford's
he had about
still
10 choices there, right? And he ended up choosing the 1-1 that made him look a fool. Like, I just, it's Jordan Pickford though. It's like, that's exactly how he is.
Yeah. Ryan keeps on his FSG rant. Chris, we signed Melo before Juventus had the issues and ban. After Newcastle accumulated the 3rd most points in the second half of last season. That's a very good point. That is a very good point. Yeah, Ravi's just said this about Juventus. What do you make of what's happening at Juventus?
Do you know what? It's just going to be one long thing in a line of clubs getting found out. Look, Barcelona just got found out of paying referees for the last however many years. Man City again as well. So it's just going to be a very long list of clubs that are going to start getting found out now because they're just going to start coming absolutely down hard on clubs who have like had issues in the past. So it wouldn't surprise me if there's more. Obviously Juventus, there's the second time around for them. This has happened to them before. You think they'd learn, do you know what I mean? They think they'd learn how to do it the second time around, but yeah.
Chris, you had to mention Nick Pope loves a masterclass against Liverpool. You just did. I remember saying I remember saying Potter was better than Howe. I put my hands up, Kendall. I was wrong. Howe is, yeah.
Thank you.
Zerbi's the real deal. He's cleared of Potter as well.
Zerbi's done a fantastic job this season.
Yeah, he has, yeah. I love Mohamed. Like Rocky Balboa's sequel continuing to box in the ring even if he's in a wheelchair. I said that the flaw started in the season that Milner wouldn't get into another Prem side. His response to me was clueless idiots. Wow. Casper the wage thief ghost is more accurate. I actually used to like Arthur when he was a Barca. Moved to Juve, ruined him. Sporting has been always a brilliant player. I think it was a bit Paulinho. Oh, here we go. Jesus. I can't lie. It hurts to say, but if FSG stay, I want Klopp to walk. He deserves so much better, and I don't want him to ruin his legacy. Him walking would expose FSG even more. I think there will be probably something. I can't lie, I was Klopp out, but the last couple of weeks have changed my mind. He's world class, and even though he's been shocking this season, who else can do a better job than him under FSG? Simply, absolutely agree with you. Fabinho and Henderson been red carpet security guards this season. Like now, oh, Jesus. I do like that. Got to go as on another stream. Great show as always, Douglas. Take care of both Douglas and Kendall. Thank you very, very much. Yes, we will get into starting 11s. Now, it's safe to say you have been a little bit leggy recently. There is a bit of concern over Dan Burns' fitness. Do you see Dan Burn being rested against Liverpool?
If he's fit, I don't think so. Matt Targett's not quite back yet. I don't think he would trust Jamal Lewis to fit in there. So, yeah, I just can't. If he's fit, I can't see it. Him dropping him at all, to be honest.
Yeah. So, what would you go with on Saturday?
So for me, we haven't heard anything about Willock, which leads me to believe that he's out. And obviously Bruno's out as well. So I think for only the second time this season, I believe we'll see a formation change. I think it'll be 4-2-3-1 for us on Saturday. Because again, as I've said, we don't have anyone to come in the midfield. We literally have Joelinton and Sean Longstaff. That's it. That's literally only two midfielders we have. So yeah, I think backline will just be the same as always. So it'll be Pope, Trips, Shah, Botman, and Dan Burn. Obviously, fitness providing. And then I think it'll be Joelinton and Sean Longstaff. And then I think Anthony Gordon will get a start. And I think it'll be Anthony Gordon, Almiron, and I would say probably St. Maximin and then Isak in front. I just don't think Callum Wilson's going to come in straight away again because he's been out for 2 weeks. So I just don't think that's going to be the case. So yeah, I think that's, in my opinion, that's what will probably happen.
Yeah, and especially whoever's on the left-hand side is going to give Trent an absolute nightmare because he absolutely hates playing against PC wingers. Mitoma absolutely tore him a new one the other day. Hawaiian, I think, did it the other weekend there as well. I mean, our away form has been absolutely horrendous anyway all season. I think our last win away from home was actually at Villa on Boxing Day. So that's been a while. That has been a while since we won away from home. But again, you guys are unbeaten at home. Ravi has asked, do I see Jota starting? No. I'm going to say this now, Ravi. I think Jota starts against Real Madrid. I don't think he starts at the weekend. I'll be amazed if he does. But yeah, I can't see Jota. I can't see Jota starting as well. And then George says bye to everyone else. I would go Ali, Trent. Oh, do you know what? This is difficult because we've obviously got Real Madrid midweek. Van Dijk is back, but how fit is he is another matter. Now, I'm going to go Ali, Trent. I think it'll be Matip and Gomez again. I can't see Van Dijk coming straight back in. I think there may be a change at left back as well. I think Tsimikas might come in. Then I'm going to go for the same midfield. I'm going to go for Fabinho, Bajcetic, and Henderson.
Bajcetic and I think it'll be unbelievable, by the way.
He has
a little bit of fresh air here. He's been really, really good.
He was man of the match against Everton, and I don't think I've ever seen a midfielder that's like dominated a Merseyside derby like he did. He was just unbelievable in that midfield. And then I think it'll be Nunes on the left, Gakpo up front, and then obviously Mohamed, Salah. I think that'll be the case. We could potentially see maybe Ryan. I know you're still in the chat. Elliot. We might potentially see Elliot. But I am going to go for that to say I think it might be the same lineup potentially. I think as well. If Klopp was given money to spend on the new owners with the right infrastructure, he will take us back to the top. Chelsea next to get found out, says Ravi. I think so.
Let's pray.
Right. I am going to say this right now, Red Devil Studio. Hello, by the way. Thank you for tuning in. There will be millions, and I mean millions of Manchester United fans who will be going through their Twitter and basically saying, oh, delete. I'm against state-owned, being state-owned. Delete, delete, delete. The hypocrisy which is going to come out of United fans wanting oil money, and especially the surprise, Kendall, there has been nothing. Not one journalist I have seen has basically come out and being totally against it. You remember your takeover, don't you?
I remember it very well, and it still goes on week by week. We still have the same comments and the same journalists, against it and not liking state-owned clubs, and bearing in mind to be fair, our club isn't even state-owned, despite the fact that everyone wants to say. And yeah, we get it in the neck every single week. Every time I do any sort of content, it's always, oh, what do you think is how to take over? What do you think of this? Honestly, the moral high grounders are going to be on red alert, because seriously, there is going to be so many deleted tweets. There's going to be so many. I didn't mean it like that though. It's different this time. This is different. There is going to be so much, as you said, hypocrisy. It's going to be through the roof. And do you know what? I can't even bother to call everyone out on it, because you know who you are. Shame is free. Get some. So yeah, it's going to be extremely embarrassing. And by the way, I wouldn't believe everything a blue-ticked journalist on Twitter says. We've been through it all before. They're not always telling the truth. They say things for attention. They say things to get bites. They say things to get clickbait. So yeah, I wouldn't, whether or not it's true that FSG will only want to sell a 49% stake in the club, I don't know if it's true or not. I'm pretty sure.
I'm not believing that.
I'm pretty sure people wouldn't put a business on Twitter. Like, let's be honest, you'd probably have NDAs in place. You're not going to put business deals on a Twitter page. You know what I mean?
NDAs.
So yeah, but there's going to be some serious hypocrites around.
Yeah. Yeah, Felix. Star boy is the safest thing to say. I mean, Ravi, he has actually signed a new contract, so he will actually be going back to Atletico at the end of the season. He did miss a couple of chances last night, but he is still making the same sort of chances that he has been. Apart from obviously getting sent off against Fulham, which was hilarious, I've got to say. I think same lineup beat Everton for Liverpool. Don't change. Winning teams, but be interesting with Champions League in midweek. I expect Jota, Firmino, Van Dijk to play against Madrid. That I agree with. I don't think Van Dijk plays against Newcastle, if I'm being honest. I think Nunes plays instead of Firmino against Madrid, to be honest. Jota will come off the bench for like an hour. Half an hour, sorry. Fair enough, Ryan. I would like that, to be honest. As Melo is banned because of Juventus, then we should be able to cancel his loan. That's very true.
Why is he banned though? Like, what's he done?
Is it because maybe one of the transfers from maybe Juventus to from Barca to Juventus, maybe?
Oh, like the Pjanic Arta transfer?
Yeah. Quite possibly.
I didn't actually know he was banned, to be honest. I had no idea.
It's pretty mental, I've got to say. Given patch practice. Now, but VVD's definitely starts on the weekend. Klopp ain't going to let his first start be against Madrid. Bajcetic, what a player, an actual academy player with ability. I can't believe it. Maybe start KV takes essentially. Trent and Bajcetic are really only good academy players that we have had over the last 10 years. Anson, hello, Ants. Hope you're good. Ian Atchell about to reclaim his crown of Manchester on Sunday. Please beat them.
Please beat them. Oh my God, you have no idea, please. I'm literally begging so much. Like, please beat them.
Yeah, absolutely. Salmon fans don't care about winning. There we go. Exactly, Douglas. I tell him the hypocrite Man United fans are we're trainers, not flip-flops. God rest his soul, Claude. That is his quote. Yes, absolutely. I always want state ownership. I want to win. But Alien football died years ago. Why do the do-gooders all of a sudden care? Yeah, people are hypocrites. They really are.
Like, it's just bizarre. Like, people sit there, like Chelsea fans, and be like, oh, state-owned clubs. I'm like, okay, just have a look at your own owner. Like, seriously, like there's not good billionaires in the world. Let's be very clear.
Red Devil Studio, I have said time and time again, and you can basically go through every pod that I have done since the start of the season. I do not want to be state-owned. I have said it time and time again. I do not want to be state-owned. I think if we get state-owned, I think it's going to do a lot of damage to the city of Liverpool. And I think Bill Shankly would be turning in his grave right now.
The spirit of Shankly as well, didn't they? Like make it like.
Oh my God, that was horrendous. Horrendous statement to have. Absolutely horrendous. For our fan base, a clear message. Feel it's a special talent.
I'm sure Ryan goes to bed like dreaming about Elliot.
Yeah. Kate's not in the Champions League squad, says Bonkers. Ooh, interesting. And then Ravi says Kendall spitting facts. Yeah, absolutely. It's because it's a loan as well. Yeah, that is very, very true. Right. What is your score prediction for the game on Saturday?
2-1 Newcastle. I said it yesterday, I said it the day before. That's what I'm going with. Whether I believe it or not, I don't know, but that's what I'm going with.
I think that we will... I don't see us winning the game. I think it's going to be 1-1. I'm going to say a 1-1 draw.
I would be surprised if it was boring as anything, because what we've both got coming up in the week after. But yeah, it's going to be a very interesting game. I hate late kickoffs on a Saturday as well. I hate them.
I bet you do. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the 12:30 kickoff. I've got to be honest, but actually, we're the very late kickoff next again Saturday against Crystal Palace. I think it's 7:45. I think
on Saturday.
Mental.
I would hate that even more. I don't like a 5:30 kickoff as it is, but
no, fly over and a show. To be fair, Ant, your owner's been one of the best owners in the Premier League. He's paid back the debt. He's been fantastic. He really, really has. Bonker's gone 2-1 Liverpool. Ravi's gone 2-1 Liverpool last minute corner. Newcastle no Liverpool 2-1 positive for once. 2-1 Newcastle, 2-1 Pool. If Liverpool lose, and I'm not predicting them to win for a while again, they don't want to head into the cup final on the back of a loss. Nope, absolutely not. I picked us to lose against Everton. So did I, but that was the way we were going. Kendall, it's been absolutely lovely to have you back on the channel to do another match preview. And yeah, you've not stopped smiling through the whole preview, which is lovely to see. Tell the people where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me here at Kendall Rowan, all my socials. I do have a YouTube channel, I just don't use it. I really should. I keep saying, I must say this weekly. I should use it. I just never do. There's a big Carabao Cup preview coming out, Combined 11, with Adam McCall, Man United fan as well. That's coming out this week on the Carabao Cup socials. I'm filming on Saturday as well with the Carabao Cup and the Premier League as well. So obviously coming up with like Newcastle content and stuff. So you'll see that floating around, I'm almost sure. And if you haven't watched the most recent Overlap, go and check that out as well on Gary Neville's The Overlap channel. That was really, really an interesting one, as well as Liverpool content on there, pretty much content about all the Premier League clubs. So yeah, go and check that out as well.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's been an absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure to have you on. And
likewise, as always.
No, it's honestly, I've not had you for a while. It's been a while since we actually last spoke, so it's definitely good to get you on. Chris says, brilliant guest, love the Geordies. Bonkers is asking, are you on Day Trippers tomorrow?
No, I'm not.
No, there we go. That's answered. I'm going for a 4-3 Liverpool, plus a footballer used to play for Newcastle, my uncle Mickey Quinn.
I know,
plus, to be honest, as an LSD fan, I love Newcastle.
Yeah, Mickey follows me on Twitter, actually. I've spoken to Mickey a few times. He's a good bloke.
Yeah, Newcastle Liverpool is the late kickoff. It certainly is. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate everyone who's tuned in. And yeah, leave your prediction in the comment section down below. Let us know your starting 11 as well. And Newcastle fans, if you want to get involved, let me know how you are feeling about this game. I am certainly not looking forward to it, I've got to be honest. But yeah, we shall see. We shall see what happens. But anyway, have a good rest of your weekend. And I will see you very, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye for now.